Hello everyone, this is the second episode of today. Uh, Probably it will be the final episode for Nazi Germany. Because I need to do a final revision for all the units, not only for the depth study. So now still we need to make sure that we're on the same page. And today I want to talk about or share some knowledge about Schutzstaffel and Gestapo. So the reason why I list Gestapo independently without a Schutzstaffel is because Gestapo is a really special branch of a Schutzstaffel, and later in I would say 1940s it is not even I would say a branch, but I would say an independent thing of Nazi Germany. So let's begin. So what is Schutzstaffel? It is the major paramilitary force under Adolf Hitler. So, I think something really not that accurate is the phrase paramilitary, because during 1930s and even I would say after Hitler became the chancellor, Gestapo is no longer a paramilitary force. The evidence is that the SS actually have the power to compete with the Weimar troop. Although you may say the Weimar troop is a really weak troop, but still, if you still have the competitiveness against them, I will consider this as a really strong troop and no longer a paramilitary force. And now we talk about how was SS started. It is only began as a small bodyguard unit after the drawing of Himmler, and SS gets a name. So why SS was first being set up? It is because apart from SA, which aim at protect Nazi from being attacked or being interrupted by other parties during the meetings. Hitler, during 1923 and 24, during he was in prison, he finally realized that he needs someone that can a group of people that can actually protect him. So this is the main aim of SS at the very beginning. It is provide civilians like Gestapo and also state terrorism, and also if possible protect Hitler. I would say those protect Hitler is also a major part of SA's responsibility, but after the night of the long knives, it is being transferred to SS. So SS actually consists of two general groups, which is the General SS, which include the Legion SS and Armed SS, and also the second one, Waffen SS. So the General SS is mainly responsible for the establishment of racial policies and some general policy. For example, SSTV, which is a really special branch, but not as special as the Gestapo ran the SSTV ran the concentration camp and extermination camp, which has a more well-known name called Death Head Unit. So, since we mentioned about concentration camp, we need to separate two basic meanings. So, it is the concentration camp and the extermination camp. So what is the main difference? Of course, we knew that both concentration camp and extermination camp, both of them, execute people. But they execute different kinds of people, and also, while they are executing, the rate of being, people being executed varies. So first, the concentration camp is where Nazi gather the Jewish people without trial, and they're not that serious. So you don't need to give them a real reason for prisoning them. So it's not very serious. They are primarily some Jews, but also Roma gypsies. So some well-known concentration camp and Auschwitz, Dachau and Bergen-Belsen, and those kind of people in the concentration camp is a huge amount of people, occupy around 5% of the whole Germany's population. So at least 1.1 million are killed by gas chambers, and yes, most of them are Jewish, and there is a hybrid camp called the Majdanek, which is the Nazi officials only used gas chambers to kill Jews there. Now I will introduce some subdivisions of SS. The first is Gestapo. It is mainly responsible for the detection of actual and political enemies, like force German people to commit the criminals and, to admit like they are controlled by a Nazi regime. So day back to 1923, Hitler announced the information, like the formation info, like they're a bodyguard group dedicated for like personal service, separate from the suspicious mass of SA. Because after like during that period of time, he realized that Rome may, after like 1 to 2 decades, may become his enemy. So originally composed of only amens, which is led by some famous people, which are all Freikorps. In 1925, it was renamed and finally marked its foundation. So in March 1925, like a close confidant of Hitler, which is Schreck, first become the commander of the whole SS. And then Berchtold, and then also separated by SS Gauleiter, like of course consists by SS, Gauberlin, like Gauberlin Brandenburg, and Gauffranken, all these, Gauleiter, they become like part of the Gestapo system. And beside like they established a series of Gauleiter, Himmler also assumed the position of the leader of SS in January 1929. So this is a common mistake. We may think like Himmler has long been the SS, leader, but the actual situation is that he has only become the leader since January 1929. He was a successful businessman, and also, like, his ultimate aim for the SS is turn it into the most powerful organization, and the organization that Hitler can be interested the most. So this is like when he first realized that he need to overtake the position of SA, like in Hitler's mind, to ensure like the group led by him can have a better development. So due to its exclusively loyalty to Adolf Hitler, compared to the pretty suspicious of SA, like Hitler of course chose to trust the SS. So just like what happened, as we all know, the Night of the Long Knives, SA is dissolved in SS, and SS become, have established schools and also like some university over Germany, and become the only real force that control the whole Germany and being loyal to Nazi. So the ideology is like SS want to be the elite unit of Nazi in order to establish some racial policies. SS members need to prove that they have it is like anecdote. They need to have like Aryan ancestry, at least date back to 18,000. Of course, because of during World War II, like most of people are from that. So like the standard rise decrease to if you have an Aryan ancestry date back to 1850, then it is also acceptable. So you need to follow the racial policy of Nazi. And also, like, you cannot hesitate and just you need simply execute people, even if he or she is your relative. But as long as it is commanded by Nazi, you need to kill them. SS is also responsible for the, democide of more than 20 million people, which is a really brutal number. And we need to fully realize of this history. Like we do not need to avoid like seeing or judging them. Like what we need to do is to face them, like to see like what was being done, what was like there's some cruel things being done, because like a lot of people around me said that's like they don't like Nazi. Even if someone mentioned Nazi, then they will be like feel disgusting. But I think, at least in my point of view, like we need to treat Nazi in a pretty, objective way. We need to confess all of like the crimes they made, and also we can like put some research of like some famous people of Nazi. Now I'll talk about some famous assassination of Adolf Hitler. First is the 20 July plot, which is sometimes referred as the Operation Valkyrie. It is a failed attempt of the assassination of Hitler. As we all know, like Hitler himself has experienced several assassinations with an estimation of at least 41 cases. So those 41 cases have 5 cases which is nearly being success. So the first one is 20 July plot, not the first one in the, if we order them by time, but it's the first one actually, because like the one who is the nearest to success. And this one create the legend or the joke of like Hitler has only one bull. So what is it? It is, the 20 July plot mainly discuss about the situation like during late 1944 when Nazi Germany, like some people, as though like Hitler used to ban like them to receive the radio outside, but they truly realized the situation for Germany is not that favor them, so they decide to overthrow Hitler and try to set up a new government just like what Italy did. So like join the ally, or not to say join the ally, but to reduce like the punishment. So they try to avoid like the same situation happened during the Treaty of Versailles. So like the plan of subsequent coup attempt also failed and result in a purge of the Wehrmacht, which is like the National Defense Army of Germany. So still, when the soldiers are not enough, Hitler still kill those soldiers. So like because the like most of the rebellion people are most idealists, so the common goal is to not to only overthrow Hitler's regime but also bring the war to a swift end. But although like German resistance did some like contribution, but still like most people like the ally do not accept their sudden like surrender because they have already planned like how to divide Germans like territory or even how to divide Germans resources. So if German surrounded this quickly, like they have no excuses to put them into a really embarrassing or hard situation. And also like this is the reason why for the 20 July plots and then even failed. So there are some previously attempts during 1943 and 1944. So we can discover the clues that like some famous assassination of Adolf Hitler only happens when Nazi regime is like going bad, because when the Nazi regime is going wild in Europe, like they are not like efficient assassination because most of the residents want to protect Hitler because Hitler leads them to find the honor and glory for the German people. But only like if the whole situation like reversed, like they failed, so they would like to assassinate Hitler to pursue their own interest. So like there are also like some 13 March 1943 like by von Tresco, and also like some 21 March 1943. So it mainly concentrate on like late 1943 and 1944, and that's for some famous assassination of Adolf Hitler. Finally, I will talk about methods like how SS prevent Hitler from being assassinated, because just like what previously mentioned, Hitler has been experienced like at least 40 plus assassination, but it is like partly because of the SS like Hitler has successfully avoided them. So first is the dedicated bodyguard units, which is a part of SS. So Hitler was also protected by specialized SS bodyguard units, and most being recognized as FBK and RSD. Like the latter is an intelligence and security service, and members of these units are specifically like chosen for their personal loyalty to Hitler and took orders only from them. And also there are intelligence and surveillance, which is like whenever like Hitler do a presentation or like the most famous kind of like scenes, or like they would like search for all the audiences and try to eliminate any chance for them to bring any kind of like guns or something that could threaten Hitler's life. And that is controlled access, which is Hitler's movements are highly unpredictable and access to him is severely restricted. Like for instance, during a 1944 meeting, like follow orders like issued that the same day, like prevented aides from entering the conference room with Hitler. So actually, like he is really changeable, like with his meetings and his agenda. So like nobody can predict him. He can do some sudden orders like to change the route or some kind of like things, made it the assassination more unpredictable. And if like any kind of like assassination was being discovered, then it will cause the death of the whole family. And also there are deterrence and retaliation, which is like they will hunting down conspirators serve as a major deterrent. So there are also a huge purge whenever they find someone suspicious. The final is security protocols, which is some security detail implemented strict protocols, like there are food tasters, like so all of Hitler's food before he like actually taste them. Like there are some special people like who would first taste to prevent poisoning, and also their armored transports. Like he often used specially equipped and protected cars, and also there are like unpredictable schedules, just like previously mentioned. So like he can leave a speech early, or plane carrier bomb being delayed. So there are some time sensitive bombs to fail because of the unpredictable like agenda of Adolf Hitler. And that's all for this video about SS and Nazi. So from the next video, I would talk about more about economy of in history. Thank you for supporting. Have a nice day.